Hi everyone and welcome to Traveling Misknits. My name is Pia and I am so very happy that you're joining me here today for a special episode. Today is going to be all about the blankets. I have just been cleaning up my craft room, it's a work in progress, but I've been going through a lot of my stuff up there. I've been going through all of my baskets and my project bags, and I just found so many blanket whips. And I know that at some point I actually went through them on the regular podcast. I showed them all and I kind of made some decisions about some to finish, some to frog, and some to convert. There were in particular two that I decided to convert into pillowcases. Now that never happened. They just stayed there. And when I found them here today, I was like, yay, that was what I decided. And my intention was to follow through, to frog and to convert and to finish then the rest of them. But as I was getting ready to frog, I was like, no, I don't want to frog these. I really enjoy my blankets. I love all of my blankets, and I do have quite a few, but I love them. I love working on them, and I really also love using them after. So what I decided to do was do what makes me happy. And making blankets really makes me happy. I love this process. It is, to me, it's very calming, like almost soothing to be working on a blanket, just stitching away and not having any deadline or any immediate goal to finish, just relaxing into the process without a care in the world, without worrying about when to finish and how to wear and all of those things that I sometimes have going on with my sweaters. So I decided, no, I'm gonna keep my blankets. I was also thinking about how blankets are not terribly fun to show on the regular podcast, because once you have showed them, it's every time you then show them again, it's just going to be more of the same, more of what you have already shown, which is, it's boring to show. I'm sure is also kind of boring to look at. So what I have decided to do is pop in here maybe once a month and talk only about the blankets. Which blankets have I been working on, and how am I working on them? What blankets are they? My initial thought was on this first blanket episode to go through all of my blanket whips. But that would just be like me rushing through them and this pattern and this kind of yarn and I would much rather just take my time with just a few of the blankets that have my attention right now. And it's probably going to be 2 other blankets that will have my attention next month. So I have decided to go into a little more detail on a few of my blanket whips for every blanket episode. So if all of that sounds like something for you, then keep an eye out for the Blankets of Calm episodes. As I said, I hope to publish them roughly once a month. So today, of course, I'm going to show you something that you have seen again and again in the last month or so on the regular podcast. The blanket that is resting in this beautiful project bag that was made for me by a lovely viewer and friend. And that is obviously my mustache blanket. I cast on this mustache blanket when I was in Texas for New Year's. I didn't bring any crochet when I went to Texas. I brought knitting, as I always do, but I could really feel how after crocheting every day during December, I could really feel that I missed it. So I got some yarn, I got a hook, and I cast on this. And this is a simple master stitch blanket. There are many tutorials here on YouTube for moss stitch blankets, but what you do is basically you chain a foundation chain. Into that you work a single crochet and a chain in every other foundation chain all the way through. And then from row 2 and every row from there, you do a single crochet and a chain in each chain space. So the moss stitch does form like a net, tight net with the single crochets and the chains. I really love this material because it's denser than the fabric you get with a granny stripe, or as here a modified granny square. On these the holes tends to be larger, which is beautiful, but also both Misa and I, we do tend to get caught in these holes. So I'm sure we're gonna enjoy the moss stitch blanket a lot. I am using some Lion Brand Ferris wheel. I found some of this on sale. There was like packs of 3 balls for, I don't even remember, a very reasonable price. And the colorway is, and now I can't find, yeah, Morning Java. So it is this color changing yarn with all sorts of Pia colors. It's the grays, the browns, beige, almost white, oatmeal colored. They're so pretty. And each ball is just a little bit different. And also of the 12 that I got, there's some different dye lots. So what I decided to do from the beginning was trying to make this as scrappy looking as I possibly could with 12 identical balls of yarn. So I alternate from ball to ball. One ball I will pull from the center, which is definitely my preference. And then on alternating balls, I will pull from the outside. And this is, how scrappy can you get? Again, I have 12 balls of the same colorway. But I was afraid that if I started with maybe 6 balls of the same dye lot and were pulling from the center and all of them, then I would have this huge section with very even striping and very similar looking. And then when introducing another dye lot, maybe that would be very obvious and look strange. I am mixing the different dye lots and again pulling alternately on the inside and the outside. So it is not scrappy, but it is a little uneven in the stripes, and I like that. I have done something that I think is very clever. I was, last time we were talking, working up here on this edge of the shawl. Then I ran out of yarn. The ball was finished. So I just left it here. Then I flipped the blanket and I started working up from the cast on edge. And the cast on edge is here. So it's not like I've done a ton of work, but a little bit. My reason for doing that is because I cannot, for the life of me, create a perfectly tensioned foundation chain. I just can't. I'm always going to be too loose on the chain and also too loose on the first row. So this blanket, as every other blanket I have made, but this one in particular was flaring down here, and maybe you can even still tell now. It's not too obvious. What I decided to do, because I was like, can I block this out? And I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to block it out. So what I decided to do was go back and crochet in the opposite direction, because this way my foundation chain is going to be in the middle or in the body. Oh, I am so sorry. I dropped you. Let's try that again. Not dropping you, but try getting you up there again. So sorry. No, by doing this, going back and working in the opposite direction, my foundation would be in the body of the blanket, which would make it a lot easier for me to block out the flare. And I'm confident that I can block it out and it's not going to be visible at all. Of course, you can tell. You can tell where I started going the other way. The netting is a little bit more open. It is here on the oatmeal colored stripe, but that's fine. It's fine. It's a blanket. It's gonna be so cozy and so nice. I am using a tulip, Etimo, something, a 6.5 millimeter hook, which is a rather large hook for a yarn like this. This is not a terribly thick yarn. Let's see, they call it a 4 here. It has 247 meters to 85 grams. So it's a DK / worsted weight. So a hook size 6.5 millimeters, that's kind of a large hook for that. But that was because I was doing the moss stitch. I wanted to make sure that I had some drape in the fabric that I was creating. And for sure, this drape, I'm really enjoying this fabric a lot. And yeah, I'm having so much fun with this blanket, and it's still new and shiny, and it's very, very easy. It's probably the easiest blanket that I have going, because all I have to do is crochet the same stitch over and over again. No changing colors, no looking out for anything. So really enjoying that one. Another blanket that I have picked up and started working at is, I have shown it before. It is a knitted blanket where I am making, of course I don't have a square, I am making squares, relatively large squares. They're 30 by 30 centimeters, which is going to be 12 by 12 inches, something like that. So rather large squares. And I am making it in all of these different colors of drops Puna. I had so many oddballs of drops Puna in these 5 different colors. And I just think they go together so very well. I don't remember if I had a project in mind when getting these, but for sure they're gonna work absolutely beautifully together with these, because with so large squares, each color is gonna shine on its own. So I am knitting them on the bias. I cast on 4 stitches, and then let me see, I knit knit 2, and then I do a yarn over and I knit to the last stitch and I slip that one with the yarn held in front. And that's what I keep doing on every row until I'm at 70 stitches. When I'm at 70 stitches, I start decreasing. And because I am increasing with the yarn overs, I have this this edging with the holes, the eyelets from the yarn overs. So when I'm decreasing, I knit 2, then I do a yarn over, and then I knit 3 together. Because by doing so, I increase 1 with the yarn over, but then I decrease 2 in the knit 3 together. It is so easy and so satisfying to sit with. For a long while, it was my mindfulness knitting. Then it has been languishing for a while, but I have picked it up again, and I am so enjoying it. I am working on my all-time favorite needles, which are the Chaogu bamboo needles, a size 4mm. I have the cute little stitch stoppers that I got from my friend Lizzie from the Pulled in Texas podcast. And everything about this project is just adorable, and I am loving it. And I don't have a huge stack of these squares. My idea is to make it 5 by 6 squares. But let's see, I have more yarn than that. 1 square does take up almost an entire bowl of yarn. There's just a little nugget left that I can either put into one of my scrappy blankets, or I can do some tassels. I actually think that blanket would look lovely with tassels. We'll see about that. I am saving all of the little nuggets so that I can make a decision once the blanket is done, which could be in a month or in a year or whenever. No rush. This is just a lovely project to work on. And actually these two, they're gonna look gorgeous together. Maybe they should be a set of blankets. Just look, these colors together with the Ferris wheel. They're gonna be absolutely amazing together, those 2 blankets. Oh, that's something to think about. I could make blanket pairs. That is not a bad idea. The last thing that I want to show you is not a blanket whip, it's a blanket dream knit. It is the yarn from my Advent. I bought the Harry Potter Advent from Dragon Hoard Yarn and Yarn Cafe Creations. I got all of these beautiful, gorgeous colors. I have been playing the guessing game with my granddaughter Isabella throughout December. Actually, today we were guessing the last ones of them. And I'm gonna use them all to make a blanket for her. So we pulled them all out of the bags and we looked at them and we talked about how would we like this blanket to look. And what we decided to do is do my Mini Max blanket, which looks like this. It is knit in these panels where each panel have the triangles, and they're like flat triangles. They're not half a square, they're half a rectangle. So they're kind of flat. So what we want to do is arrange the colors of the Advent together with a white main color. She really wanted a white main color. And we need to figure out the color placement exactly, but at least we are now settled on a pattern and a main color. I am going to hold these double so that I'm working them as a DK weight. And I think that as soon as I am back from the Maldives, that is what I'm gonna cast on, Isabella's Christmas blanket. I am so looking forward to that. But yeah, the two blankets of the month are these two. They are gonna look gorgeous together. I need to remember that. I must work on these like simultaneously, so they are finished almost at the same point. They're not. This one is gonna go a lot faster than the moth stitch, but anyway, something to consider. I could also just wrap up in the Puna blanket while working on the Ferris wheel. Decisions. I would really love to hear if you're working on blankets, if you're even interested in blankets, if you share my experience of blankets as these calming, soothing, centering whips where you can just relax into the process and not worrying about what the finished product is going to look like, or how you're going to wear it, when you're going to wear it. Just enjoy stitching away. Or if you have a completely different take on blankets, please let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I will be back with another Blankets of Calm episode in about a month. Until that, happy blanket making.